Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, the High Guy Jacobs, and today we are taking a look at the next logical step in the Biochemical Beast deep dive, and that's looking at the water type. We've looked at the grass type, we've looked at physical, now we're going to look at water. Before we do all that, you'll notice a couple of things. First and foremost, the Briar Hound, the Ice Spike Hound, and the Bone Spur Hound look very similar, as do the Rainforest Boar, the Glacier Boore, and the Badlands Boar. And believe it or not, if you look at their skills, they pretty much do the same thing, except that they're focused more for what their type is. So if you look here, we've got counter damage and counter, which is where their skills are going to be coming from. Same here, counter damage and counter, whereas this one is combo damage and combo, and then we've got crit damage and crit. So they're going to be focusing those skills more towards those attributes, as you will see as we read through their skills. But just know that those ones are pretty much the same. Now, just as we had before, you've got two legendary and two elite kinds, and again, they are close copies of each other, just obviously one much stronger than the next. Now, let's read through these water type animals, the water type biochemical beasts. Number one, we've got the Ice Spike Hound, which if you look at the max attributes, coming in at 35,000 HP with 1,600 attack and 1,600 defense. Brings in 210 combo, 8% combo damage, 4% fire reduction, and 4% squad damage reduction. And that's at max stats, okay? At level 100 and at full potential. If we look at the first ability, the leader skill, Frenzied Bite, it deals damage to the target every 6 seconds at a multiplier of 200% with a 50% chance to increase damage to the current attack by 10%. The next skill, Swift Lunge, is an active skill. It's going to deal damage to the target every 3 seconds. When it triggers a combo, has a 50% chance to deal follow-up damage at a multiplier of 132%. So first off, you're getting a 3-second damage with a 76% multiplier with a chance to trigger counterattacks and combos, or which can trigger, when triggering a combo has a 50% chance to deal follow-up damage as a support. We got Pack Charge as a passive skill. As the leader, when triggering a combo, has a 50% chance to gain attack at 12% for 3 seconds. As a support, provides the leader combo damage an additional 3%. And then lastly, Icicle Power, which is the passive skill that you get when you first take up their first reputation. As a leader, you're going to deal additional damage to a fire-type biochemical beast of an additional 3.5%. And then as a support, when taking crit damage, which is a fire-type's attribute, has a 50% chance to gain fire reduction of plus an additional 2.5% for 3 seconds. So it makes it tankier against fire types. Next, we look at Glacier Boore with stats coming in at 52,000 HP, 2,400 attack, 2,300 defense. Don't forget, 2,466 and 2,370. Combo comes in at 315 additional with 12% combo damage, 6% fire reduction, and 6% squad damage reduction instead. And if you look at the skills, let me just double check here, because we already looked at this one. I know this is kind of a little step off, and remember, I do have ADHD. So this one here deals every 6 seconds at 200% with a 50% chance to increase by 10. Every 6 seconds deals 200% with a 50% chance to increase by 10. So it is the same skill. Deals damage at a multiplier of 76 every 3 seconds. Deals damage multiplier every 6. Yeah, so it is the same. The only difference is that it's going to be tailored more for what it's better against. So because these are tailored more to be better against water, you're going to get the combo damage instead. And then obviously here at the icicles, you're getting that fire reduction as well when you're getting crit. Okay. So, again, we go back here. Deals damage to the target every 6 seconds at a multiplier of 328%. There's a 100% chance to increase damage of the current attack by 15%. When deployed, the attack of squad troops goes up by 2.5%. Okay, so when this is deployed, the attack of the squad troops, this is where we're going to start to see some influence, getting some of that So you don't actually get an influence here from these common ones, only from the rare ones and better. So deal damage to the target, and then you get deployed attack. Attack that squad goes up by 2.5%. So just the attack. Next, you've got the leader. Blah blah blah. The leader impact. The leader active skill, Swift Impact, deals damage to the target every 3 seconds at a multiplier of 130%, with the combo damage of the current attack going up by plus 5%. As a support, when triggering a combo, has a 100% chance to deal follow-up damage at 120% multiplier. Okay? Next, we've got No Rest being the passive skill. When triggering a combo, gains attack plus 8% and combo plus 4% for 3 seconds. As a support, the leader combo goes up by 40 and combo damage goes up by plus 3%. And then lastly, we got the passive skill Glacier Power. As a leader, you're going to be dealing additional damage to fire-type biochemical beasts with a combo going up of plus 3 for the current attack. And as a support, when taking damage... Just when taking damage, has a 70% chance to gain fire reduction at an additional 4.5% for 3 seconds. That's pretty fun. So it's just when taking damage in general can make him tankier as a support. Okay. Next, we're going to look into the giant crab, the giant claw crab. Basic attributes coming in: HP at 69,000, 30, attack at 3248, and defense at 3125. Combo is 420. Combo damage going up by 16% this time, with fire reduction and squad damage reduction both going up to 8%. At level 100, we're going to start to see some skills coming in here. The leader skill Spiral Assault deals damage to the target every 6 seconds at a multiplier of 236% and has a 100% chance to inflict corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 240%, and increases corrosion damage by 7.5% for 3 seconds. So now we're starting to see where corrosion is coming into play here. Okay. So you're going to deal damage at a skill at 236% and then inflict corrosion, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds at a multiplier of an additional 240%. Plus increasing corrosion damage by 7.5%. So it's really putting a lot of emphasis on corrosion. When deployed, basic attack damage of the squad heroes, so the basic attack damage goes up by 5%. So this would be in theory someone that you would actually want to put on something like Chasey, or someone that you want to end up doing a lot of basic damage to. Maybe not even on Chasey, because you're getting less based on the fact that her basic attack damage is already so high. So putting it on something else actually might be better. You have to talk to Zed about that one. Or Z if you're American. Next, we've got Clamping Claws. It's an active skill, deals damage to the target every 3 seconds at a multiplier of 140%, and has a 50% chance to inflict corrosion on the target again, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 108%. If the active skill was triggered by a combo, right, this skill can be triggered by counterattacks or combos. If the active skill was triggered by a combo, the chance increases to 100% of adding that corrosion. Okay. As a support, when triggering a combo, inflicts corrosion on the target. So when triggering a combo, so actually doing the actual combo, inflicts corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 180%. When the effect is active, target crits goes down by 40. Well, that's nice. Yeah, that's nice on Clamping Claws. Next, we've got Tidal Rush. As the leader, when triggering a combo, next leader skill cast gains corrosion damage plus 20% and combo plus 90. So that's going to stack the corrosion damage, which is nice. When using the leader skill, leader combo goes up by 110 for 3 seconds. If a combo is triggered during this time, increase combo damage by 8%. Okay, so as a support, you're going to see more combos coming out, more combo damage, and then obviously increasing that combo damage from there. And then lastly, we've got Flowing Power. As a leader, when the leader skill deals damage to fire type, gains corrosion damage plus 11% and combo plus 30 for 3 seconds. As a support, when receiving a critical hit, if the opponent's team has a fire type biochemical beast, damage taken goes up by 7, or damage taken goes down by 7%, and target leader's crit goes down by 20 for 3 seconds. So again, just showing how it counters fire. Next, we're going to look at Mimic Jellyfish. Stats here bringing in close to what we had here coming out of the giant claw crab. We've got 67,710, attack of 3320, and defense of 3125, bringing in 420 combo, 16% combo damage, as well as 8% of fire reduction and squad damage reduction. First skill inflicts corrosion on the target every 6 seconds, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds. So every 6 seconds it's dealing corrosion, which deals damage over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 444%. And when casting the next active skill, gain combo of 100, corrosion damage of plus 15%. When deployed, basic attack damage of squad heroes goes up by 5%. So again, you're getting the same type of 5% basic attack damage of your squad heroes out of this one as well. Now, it deals damage to the target every 3 seconds at a multiplier of 108%, and has a 70% chance to inflict corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 108%. While this effect is active, target's crit damage goes down by minus 5%. Or goes down by 5%, sorry. Which is basically, again, what fire does well, crit damage. As a support, when the active skill deals damage, right? So when when their active skill deals damage, has a 50% chance to inflict corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 156%. And if the active skill was triggered by a combo, the chance increases to 100% of dealing corrosion damage. Okay? So it's a nice little support there, pushing out more combos, pushing out more damage, and then obviously more corrosion damage on top. So it seems like water really likes this corrosion aspect. Next, we've got Mimic Phantom. Corrosion damage just goes up by 12%. When dealing corrosion damage, gain combo plus 50 for 3 seconds. When fighting a target with corrosion, combo damage goes up by... When fighting a target with corrosion, combo damage goes up by 17%. Crit damage received goes down by 7.5%. So when fighting a target with corrosion. Oh, maybe with one that has corrosion. So you're fighting a target that has corrosion. I see what it means. Not a target that has the ability to give corrosion, but a target that is affected by corrosion. You're dealing more combo damage and crit damage received goes down. And then lastly, we've got Tidal Power, which is obviously the type specific ability, which when fighting against fire type gains an additional 11% corrosion, and fire reduction goes up by 3% for 3 seconds. As a support, when receiving a critical hit, if the opponent's team has a fire type Biochemical Beast, leader combo goes up by 70, corrosion damage goes up by 3% for 3 seconds. So it's a nice little boost and getting more combo if you're fighting against a fire beast. Which, of course, is what you want if you're fighting with water, as I've said before. Now, lastly, we're going to go over these last 2 legendaries, and then we should wrap it up on water. But these are all looking to be about the same kind of play style, so depending on obviously what you're looking to do in your teams. And after we go through the deep dive on all of these biochemical beasts, what I'm going to do is kind of do a video on where I think they obviously should be played, or how they can be played, how they can be matched up with heroes. At least something to think about. Maybe not, it might not necessarily be the best things to do for them, but some avenues to think about. Because remember, I'm not a pro at the game. You don't see me at the top of the ranks. I'm just someone who's hyper focused on the game and spends a lot of time reading and looking at reports and things like that. So it's all speculation as it is. But as it looks out, it does look to be kind of influential. I've seen some pretty hefty reports with some pretty big numbers. But of course, it's all taken with a grain of salt. So that will be in another video after we do all these deep dives, okay? So let's look at General Crab. General Crab is bringing in 85,950 HP at base with 4,030 attack and 3,880 defense. He's bringing 525 combo with an additional 20% combo damage and 10% to both fire reduction and squad damage reduction. His first skill, Deadly Pinch, deals damage to the target every 6 seconds at a multiplier of 350% and inflicts corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 420%. Also gains Whirlpool for 3 seconds. If the Biochemical Beast had Whirlpool before using the skill, increases corrosion damage skill multiplier to 504%. So basically, it's going to use the skill, gain Whirlpool. The next time it uses the skill, instead the corrosion damage of being increases the corrosion damage skill multiplier. So instead of getting 420, it's going to increase it to 504%. And then when deployed, the basic attack damage of squad heroes goes up by 8%. So that's interesting. It means it's going to hit for the 350, deal corrosion damage over 3 seconds, and then every second skill it's going to deal increased corrosion damage. The next skill, Pincer Strike, deals damage to the target every 3 seconds at a multiplier of 180% and has a 70% chance to inflict corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 150%. If using the skill with Whirlpool, increases the chance to inflict corrosion to 100%. So remember, you're going to be using that leader skill, right? You're going to be using the leader skill every 6 seconds, which is going to give you Whirlpool. You're going to be using your active skill every time triggered by counterattacks and combos. So anytime there's additional damage, or every 3 seconds. Actually, I'm not sure. That's a good question. We'd have to take a look at that in future videos. What the timing of these attacks. And even in reports, again, it's kind of speculation. So if you do know more, post in the comments down below. So deals damage to the target every 3 seconds at a multiplier of 180% and has a 70% chance to inflict corrosion on the target. So if the skill is used with Whirlpool, using the skill with Whirlpool increases the chance to inflict corrosion at 100%. So now you're getting more corrosion. As a support, when triggering a combo, inflicts corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 264%. So basically, we're just going to start to see more corrosion, which leads to more damage. Also gains the leader combo at plus 50 for 3 seconds when he's supporting. Next, we've got Whirlpool Domain. When triggering a combo, gains Whirlpool. So now we're getting Whirlpool again. So not only do we get Whirlpool over here when you use a skill, but now whenever triggering a combo, gains Whirlpool. Attack 15% and combo plus 110 for 3 seconds. When triggering a combo under the Whirlpool, increases current round of corrosion damage by 19%. As a support, when using the leader skill, leader combo goes up by 150 for 3 seconds. If a combo is triggered during this time, has a 30% chance to trigger another combo. Very cool. And then lastly, Torrential Power. When the active skill deals damage to a fire type, gains corrosion damage plus 15% and combo plus 4% for 3 seconds. And support, when receiving a critical hit, if the opponent's team has a fire type, damage taken goes down by, the flat damage goes down by 14%. Okay, that's pretty tanky. That's nice. Now, lastly, let's talk about Pluto Jellyfish. Bringing in 84,300 HP, bringing in 4,120 attack and 3,880 defense, 420 combo, 210 counter, 16% combo damage, 8% counter damage, 10% fire reduction, and 10% squad damage reduction. So there is a little bit of a hierarchy, it seems, between General Crab and Pluto Jellyfish, depending on how much combo and stuff you have. It seems this one is just combo and corrode. Well, this one also has counter. So additional counter damage. I guess it depends on if you want to kind of span it over some things. Span it over a couple of attributes. So let's see how this works. First skill, Toxic Tide, deals damage to the target every 6 seconds at a multiplier of 420% and has a 100% chance to inflict corrosion, dealing corrosion damage to the target over 3 seconds at a multiplier of 504%. For every 12 active skills used in a single battle, inflicts 1 additional stack of corrosion on the target the next time the leader skill is used, up to a maximum of 2 stacks. When deployed, basic attack damage of squad hero goes up by 10%. Okay. So basically, you want to put this out on a hero that's going to be out for a while, dealing decent damage, and so like rallies, for example, maybe rally leaders. Because 12 active seconds, you have to think about this. For every 12 active skill used, and active skills are here. So deals damage to the target every 3 seconds at a multiplier of 174, and they can be triggered by counterattacks and combos. So like every 12, I don't know how often this is going to fill up. This is kind of a good question. But it does inflict an additional stack of corrosion on the target the next time the leader skill is used, up to a maximum of 2 stacks. So they kind of want you to fill this up. So every 12, it's going to add 1. So 24, it'll add 2. And then it'll continue. So after that, it'll only add the 2 stacks every time. That's going to be decent damage either way you look at it. I'm just curious how fast that 12 active skills is going to fill up. Especially if you're doing field fighting where you can attack and then run away and break combat and then jump into combat again and break away combat again. We'll have to see. Okay, so then we have Invisible Whip. Deals damage to the target every 3 seconds at a multiplier of 174%, with a 70% chance to inflict corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage at a multiplier of 180%. For every 6 active skill used in a single battle, can use the active skill 1 more time. Okay, so now we're starting to see the active skill being triggered additional times, right? So now, I guess that's going to help this one stack more often. Again, just depending on how this triggers, whether it's just dealing it every 3 seconds or whether this only triggers by counterattacks and combos. When as a support, when the active skill deals damage, has a 50% chance to inflict corrosion on the target, dealing corrosion damage to the target at 276%. If the active skill is triggered by a combo or counterattack, the chance increases to 100%. See, this to me tells me something. This to me that it's going to be dealing, the active skill is going to be dealing damage every 3 seconds anyways, but can also be triggered by counterattacks and combos. You see what I'm saying? So I think it might do both. Let's just keep that, again, in the world of speculation. This is what we're dealing with. Pardon me. Next, we've got Stinging Echo. For every 1 stack of corrosion inflicted on a target in a single battle, gains corrosion damage plus 20 and combo plus 20 up to a maximum combo of plus 120. So for every 1 stack of corrosion inflicted on a target, so it really wants you to stack that up. So which means that these actives might be triggering, it must trigger every 3 seconds. If it's going to be inflicting, you know what I mean? Like it must trigger every 3 seconds. Plus then depending on counters and combos and stuff. For every 1 stack of corrosion inflicted on the target in a single case, we already read that, when dealing corrosion damage has a 25% chance to increase current round of corrosion damage by 37%. That's interesting. As a support, when dealing damage to a target with corrosion, increases the damage by 25%. Wow, okay, just a flat damage increase by 25%. Okay. And then lastly, the Abyssal Power. When the active skill deals damage to fire type, gains corrosion damage plus 18% and fire reduction at plus 5% for 3 seconds. And then as a support, when receiving a critical hit, leader counter goes up by 60. If the opponent's team has a fire type, a Biochemical Beast grants additional counter plus 90 and damage reduction plus 5 for 3 seconds. But that's going to be it for the Water Beast, guys. So there's lots to think about as we've been reading through here because there's lots of nuance and there's lots of context. But I can start to see, and I'm starting to formulate ways of these guys actually being usable in the field and what you're going to be wanting to pair them with and things like that. And I'm sure you can start to see some of the similarities on how they're going to be working as well. Because remember, you can also, as I've mentioned in previous videos, you're going to have the capability to support your main Biochemical Beast and still get support, right? So like you can... For example, on some of the ones that I've seen running garrisons, they're going to run Hammer Pangolin first with Crystal Pangolin second. So they're getting Hammer Pangolin's abilities as the leader and then the Crystal Pangolin's abilities as support, right? So you're getting these ones as well. So you'll see a lot of that kind of stuff depending on how you want to pair them. But remember, we're still just going through them. This is the water type. This is what we've gone through. So if you've made it this far, guys, I really, really do appreciate it. Go ahead and hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. If you can, go ahead and comment down below who your favorite biochemical beast is. I really want to know what people are starting to think about these, because it has been out for, what is it, a week or so now. So we're starting to see some of how it plays out. So go ahead and let me know what you're excited about, whether you're excited about these biochemical beasts or not. If you haven't already, check out thcemporium.ca for any of your The High Guy or the Mrs. merch. And again, guys, love, peace, chicken grease, and until next time, stay lifted.